Donald Trump is in a little bit more legal trouble than we had remembered because he recently, in fact this past Friday, got hit with a nearly $400,000 penalty from a failed lawsuit that he had filed with his lawyer Alina Habba against the New York Times. Here's the backstory before I get into the punishment that Donald Trump is now facing. Back in 2018, the New York Times, several writers with the New York Times, worked with Mary Trump, Donald Trump's niece. She turned over a lot of tax information that she had about her uncle, through various family dealings, things of that nature. Because at the time, let's not forget, Donald Trump was still saying, oh, I can't release my tax returns because I'm being audited. Oh, I really wish I could, but I can't. So the New York Times took a roundabout approach and said, hey, Mary, you've got some of this stuff. Would you like to share it with us? And Mary Trump, of course, was like, heck yeah, here we go. They actually won a Pulitzer Prize for that information that they published. Now, Trump was unhappy about this. So in 2021, he filed a $100 million lawsuit against the New York Times and against his niece, Mary Trump. Alina Habba, as I said, was his attorney for that case. And they lost. They lost bad. Now, the case against Mary Trump is actually going to still proceed because Trump had argued in his lawsuit against the New York Times that, hey, the New York Times should have known that Mary Trump was barred from releasing this information via the non-disclosure agreements that we had all signed. She wasn't allowed to do this. And the judge was like, okay, you have a case there, but the New York Times didn't sign a non-disclosure agreement. Like, they can publish whatever people send them. So you can't sue them for that. They were not a part of that non-disclosure agreement, which any attorney in this country should have recognized. But Alina Habba, as per usual, did not. And she wanted to take on a high-profile case against the biggest newspaper in the country, the New York Times, for $100 million. And she lost. And this past Friday, the judge said, hey, also, by the way, you're going to have to pay $392,000 to cover the legal fees of the New York Times and the reporters that you sued. So nearly $400,000 now that Donald Trump has to pay, all because Alina Habba didn't bother to explain to him that, hey, yeah, it sucks. I know you're unhappy, but New York Times is allowed to publish this under the First Amendment. You can still sue your niece, though. Like, we can go after her 100%, but the New York Times is protected. Let's not even go that route. That's all she had to say. That is all she had to say. But Trump doesn't want to hear no from any of his lawyers. All he wants to hear is, yes, sir, that sounds like a wonderful case. Let me go ahead and file the paperwork. You're probably going to lose. You're going to get slapped with their legal fees too for filing a frivolous lawsuit against them. But sure, I'll go ahead and do it. And this is what's happened. Like, this is the end result from having lawyers who do not have the courage, the fortitude to stand up to their clients and tell them no. Like, you have to do that sometimes. You have to do it frequently. Let's be honest about that. But Donald Trump doesn't want to hear it. And because he found a lawyer in Alina Habba who will not tell him no, she will go on TV and spout whatever idiotic talking points he wants her to spout. And he's happy with that. But how happy is he going to be when it keeps costing him hundreds of thousands, and in the case of the New York fraud trial, hundreds of millions of dollars? At some point, it's going to click in Donald Trump's brain that this clearly not great lawyer, Alina Habba, is costing me all of my money. Her incompetence in New York is going to cost me all of my businesses. Like, Trump could lose all of his properties depending on the outcome of this case, all because he likes Alina Habba, because she won't tell him no, because she'll say the stupid things that other lawyers refuse to say. She'll file the stupid lawsuits that other lawyers will not file. It cost him nearly $400,000 with the New York Times. He got sanctioned, so did Alina Habba, for the frivolous lawsuit he filed against Hillary Clinton that they say they're going to refile. And Alina Habba's in charge of that one too. And we've all seen what's happened with the New York fraud trial. Alina Habba is costing Donald Trump everything. And I think at this point, it's only a matter of time before he wakes up and realizes that fact. Hi everyone, this here is little Athena, and Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet, so please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.